Mama, welcome to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I am your host, Dr. Michelle Gibbs, and this podcast exists to help scholarly mamas like you to achieve your life and academic goals without sacrificing what matters most. Here, we're changing the overwhelm, juggle-struggle narrative around what it means to be a mama on an academic journey to one of empowerment, fulfillment, and purposeful success. So how do we successfully navigate these journeys? Well, first, we need the space to embrace this unique blend. Let's begin by saying yes to creating a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside, because that's when we truly become purposefully whole. So get ready for the most non-traditional, unconventional, and revolutionary approach to PhD motherhood, because one thing I have learned over my many years of experience on this journey is that if you want something different, you have to do something different. But you must be brave enough to think differently first. So, Mama, are you in? Fabulous! Let's begin. These are our journeys of becoming. Hey mamas, welcome back to the podcast. Have you ever gone weeks or months without feeling like you've gotten anything done? Like feeling you've got so much to do, the to-do list is just getting longer and longer, and you're just getting more and more unproductive. Have you ever felt like that? Well, I've called these progress droughts, and I believe it's time to change this narrative because we want to get this PhD done and we also want to enjoy the time we have with our loved ones. And this episode is all about finding a solution to this. So if you are a busy scholarly mama who's got little time and very long to-do lists, then this episode is for you. In this episode, I want to share some news that we've recently shared with those of you in our Explore community, on our email list and on various social media channels. You would have seen this already if you are in one of those spaces, or if you're following me on social media, you would have seen this announcement already. But I thought I would just share with those of you who perhaps are just listening to the podcast, but not necessarily following online or receiving our emails. So yeah, I just wanted to share some really exciting news with you, share an opportunity that you may find really helpful in your scholarly mama journey. And really, before I actually reveal what it is, I just wanted to say that this is something that I so wish I had when I was navigating a PhD journey. And I think there are many of you who have expressed an interest in something like this. And so I thought, why not provide the space to make success possible, right? Because there's so many moments on this journey where we feel like giving up, where we feel like it is impossible, where we feel like, this isn't really worth it. And the thing I want you to remember in all of that is that those are just moments, right? Those are moments that we all go through. And especially when you're feeling isolated, it's really easy sometimes for those moments to feel real, for those moments to feel like, this is a trajectory for you, that you're not going to be able to finish this, that it's not worth it, that it's really too hard, it's impossible, you're never going to get to the end of it. And I want to challenge you to say, look, there are things on this journey that we don't have control over, but there are things that we do have control over. And one of the things I've realized is that changing how I think about it really does help. I'll get into more about these thoughts in a moment, but really just, making intentional decisions along the way to make success possible for yourself, to make this happen and to actually get your work done and get back into the swing of things. And so this opportunity hopefully fills that gap. This opportunity is there to support you, to provide the space that you need. I'm going to get into it now. So before I get sidetracked and without further ado, let's get into what this episode is all about. Hang on a minute. This is my own podcast. I'm excited. So I'm going to be excited. I'm going to savor this moment of excitement, right? Have you ever I don't know, maybe Christmas morning or I don't know, birthday or something, you just are so excited, so full of excitement, so full of anticipation because you know it's going to be good. You know, when you have that feeling that something is going to really put a massive smile on somebody's face because it's exactly what they've wanted. I kind of feel like that with this because this is exactly what I wish I had. This is exactly what I wanted when I was navigating this journey, when I was feeling under the pressure of it all, when I was navigating all the overwhelm and wearing all the hats and just doing all the things. And this is the one thing that I actually wish I had. And because so many of you have requested it, I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to open this opportunity up because really this is about helping you to reach your goals and supporting mamas on PhD journeys or academic journeys and helping you achieve the success that you desire. And so without further ado, here is something brand new. Something for the scholarly mama who is struggling to make good progress in their PhD, who really wants to just, quit the excuses and really focus on making progress in their PhD so that they can get back to enjoying the family time that they love, right? This is for busy mamas who have very long to-do lists, but really have little time to get everything done. And so in this episode, I want to invite you to join us in our brand new purposeful virtual workspace called Scholarly Mamas Focus. And it really, as I said, is designed for busy scholarly mamas who've got little time and very long to-do lists, because these periods of feeling unproductive and feeling like we're not making any headway in our very long to-do list, in our PhD task. Sometimes it's because we feel overwhelmed, we feel unmotivated, and we just put things off. We procrastinate and we put things off. And with that procrastination and putting things off and avoiding these difficult tasks that we have on our to-do list, we end up falling deeper and deeper into the overwhelm, progress, drought cycle. And that overwhelm, that frustration of not getting our work done, then trickles down into other aspects of our lives, into our family life, for example. And suddenly we are snapping at everybody. We are just feeling so miserable and unhappy and stuck in this valley of disillusionment and overwhelm. But, and this is a big but, here's the good news. Here's the good news, mama. You can actually do something about these periods of unproductivity, right? The things that are within your control, those are the things that you'd focus on. And by focusing on those things that you do have control of, you are able to take purposeful action. You're able to do something about it. You're able to face those difficult tasks on your to-do list, build some initial momentum, and that allows you to make intentional progress towards your goals. And this is really, really key, especially as mamas doing PhDs, because once we do this, once we feel productive again in our PhD work, when we are with our families, when we have that family time, we can show up. We can show up without guilt, and we can show up and be present and really enjoy the time with our families, because we're not constantly worrying and overthinking about all the PhD work that we haven't been able to do. So it's really key that we stay purposeful and productive and make sure that we get our work done. And one of the things that really helped me in doing this, as you know, I began my PhD as a mom of one, and then we had our second son soon after I began my PhD, and then we had our third son just before I finished my PhD. And, it was hard. It was hard finding the time, because time, felt like it was becoming more and more of a rare and precious resource. And so I really had to be intentional about how I spent my time and my energy. And I talked about being intentional about time and energy in previous episodes. But really part of that for me, as I navigated the season of of scholarly motherhood that I was in, part of that was taking back control of my to-do list and really focusing on what I could get done in the time that I did have available. So not focusing so much on how much time I didn't have, but how can I make good use of the time that I did have? How could I make sure that I was making consistent progress in my PhD? And one of the things that really helped me do this was blocking out focus time on my calendar. I do it on my work calendar, I do it on my personal calendar, and I block out that focus time. And with that focus time, I would just work my way through one task at a time, work my way through the to-do list, and that allowed me to make good progress. And so I guess the other benefit of setting aside that intentional focus time was that when I was with my family, I wasn't feeling guilty about all the things that I should be doing and wasn't doing because I'd already put in that time, or I knew that time was coming and I could enjoy the time with my family when I had it and not be polluting that with worries about the PhD. And then when I had my focus time, I focused on my PhD. And so the purpose of Scholarly Mama's Focus is really to invite you to join me in this purposeful virtual workspace. Because let's be honest, right? We all know one of the best things about doing a PhD as a mom is that flexibility. It offers so much flexibility that, quite frankly, as mamas wearing many hats, we actually really need. We need that flexibility. It helps us. We benefit from having that flexibility. But that also is the number one thing that's really hard, because when you have that much flexibility and autonomy, it's really easy to want to put things off. And especially when life is throwing lemons and things are happening and you're wearing many hats and juggling many balls, it's very easy to put the PhD work aside. And so this is where focus time really, really, really comes in handy, because it allows you to just intentionally set aside that time to work on your PhD. It's not negotiable. Yes, of course, if something really serious comes up, you just move that on your calendar. But if all's well, then you have no reason to not be sitting at your desk during that focus time and doing your work. And so really, because some of you have expressed a need for a supportive co-working space to help you avoid the procrastination and allow you to get more work done, we've created that with Scholarly Mama's Focus. So you can intentionally set aside that time, supercharge your productivity, and still get to enjoy the family life that you love. Because let's be honest, we did not begin this PhD journey, especially as a mama, to get burnt out and just, succumb to the relentless grind and the pursuit of prestige at all costs. We chose to begin this journey because we wanted to pursue knowledge and we wanted to experience professional growth to create a better life for ourselves, to create a life that we love. And to do that, we need to be able to integrate that into the family life that we love, right? Not let it take over our lives, but rather to allow it to take its rightful place in our journey. And so that's our ultimate goal. That is actually the purpose behind Scholarly Mama's Focus. And this is why I'm so thrilled to invite you to be a part of this, to utilize it as much as you need to or as little as you need to. The sessions are available for booking in advance. I will put the link in the show notes so you can sign up for Scholarly Mama's Focus. But really, the sessions are there to offer that real-time live accountability to help you take action, to help you put the excuses aside, and to help you make good progress in defined blocks of time, and not alone, not by yourself, but in the company of other scholarly mamas who really understand what this journey is like. And for me, that's the power of Scholarly Mamas. That's the power of this community, for us to support each other in working towards our goals. So it's time to say goodbye to the progress droughts and time to say hello to the progress streets, because Scholarly Mama's Focus is here to support you, here to provide that space for you to be able to get your work done. And so just so you know, Scholarly Mama's focus is not a cold, generic online co-working space that has no personality or connection. We want to create a welcoming, community-focused space where we can work individually without working in isolation, right? That's the whole point of this. And so it's a book as you need, so you don't have to commit long term. You don't have to commit to a regular slot or anything like that. But it will allow you to set aside that focused time to beat procrastination, to get work done, and to end these progress droughts. It will allow you to have opportunities to engage in deep scholarly work, right? And do that alongside others who also have very little time, who are also time starved, right? But have very lengthy to-do lists. And it's going to provide a warm, welcoming atmosphere to help you work individually, but not alone. And one of the real benefits of Scholarly Mama's focus is that live accountability, right? So that you do not have to make up excuses. You are there, you're deciding what you're going to work on during the session, and you are intentionally focusing on that specific task. We don't want to be overwhelmed and distracted by other things. This is just time to focus on that one task. And also, I guess, the real uniqueness of this is being able to work alongside other scholarly mamas who really understand the juggle-struggle. They know what it's like to be juggling many hats and being pulled from here to there and everywhere, and feeling that they are, just not able to find that time. But with Scholarly Mama's focus, they're able to do that, right? So things will be kept small and intimate. The number of spaces in each session will be capped. So make sure you book early to avoid disappointment. You don't have to be a member of any other of our programs or be a client of mine or anything to be a part of Scholarly Mama's focus. You simply have to sign up and then book the sessions as you need. So if you are ready to kickstart your productivity streak and really get focused, for lack of a better word, then I can't wait to serve you through Scholarly Mama's focus. This is going to be really exciting. I too will be there and working alongside you. So I'm looking forward to these sessions, and I cannot wait to see you make that consistent progress towards your goals. We are all about purposeful success and scholarly joy here at Mrs. Mummy PhD and Scholarly Mamas. And so this is just an extension of that, right? And so, I really am excited to work with you, to co-work with purpose, right? And so I can't wait to see you inside Scholarly Mama's Focus. You will find the link in the show notes, or you can head over to focus.scholarlymamas.com. That's focus.scholarlymamas.com. Well, that's it for today, Mama. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And if you did, please do share it with another scholarly mama you know, or leave a kind review so that the algorithm does its thing and shows this episode to other people who may find it useful. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, sending you lots of love and lots of gratitude. See you on the inside. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Mrs. Mummy PhD podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and if you did and you want in on this movement, please head over to mrsmummyphd.com or scholarlymamas.com. If you want to do your PhD well without sacrificing yourself or those you love dearest, then you need your hands on my free training called the PhD with Purpose Webinar. When you join us inside Scholarly Mamas Explore, you'll get access to this free training and so much more. Remember, Mama, these are our journeys of becoming.